In this video, we will write one giveaway that picks the top selling item for every time window, like morning, afternoon, or evening. We will break a single SQL giveaway into simple steps. First, we need to understand what the output looks like. So, in the first column, we will retrieve time of day. In the second, item ID. In the third, its name, and in fourth, total order count for that item ID or item name. Now let's understand the tables we are going to use for this query. First is orders table. So from this table we'll use order ID to count total orders created at that's a timestamp column. So we will use that column to retrieve time of day like morning, evening, and so on. Additionally, we'll use item ID to retrieve which item is the most popular by time of day. Next table is menu items. It has all menu items info. From this table, we'll use item name and we'll connect both tables using item ID. Then we'll be able to get the item name. I will explain every step clearly, so watch till the end. The query is very complex. First, we'll retrieve necessary information from orders table. We will start with select statement and first we'll pick item ID from orders table. We'll use O as a short name for orders table and we'll select as O dot item ID. Now we'll retrieve time of day like morning, afternoon, or evening. For that we'll use created data column. There's a timestamp column, so we need to retrieve hours from it. Then we'll be able to extract time of day. Right. For that we'll use case statement in SQL. So we'll write as case and then when. For extracting hour from created a timestamp, we'll use extract function in Postgres SQL. So we'll write extract hour from orders data created date column. Created data. That's a text. Its data type is text. So we need to typecast it to timestamp. Then we'll be able to extract hours from it. Otherwise, the extract function won't work on it. For that, we'll use two columns to typecast its data type from text to timestamp. Now the condition is case when hour is between. We'll say if it's between 5 and 11, between 5 and 11, then it's morning. So between 5 and 11, then morning. This will help us to count orders for each item ID in the morning. So this condition says that if the time or the hour is between 5 and 11, then label it as the orders happen in morning. We will copy paste same conditions in that case statement, just we will change the hours. So if it's between 12 and 16, then we will label it as afternoon. So this will count all orders for afternoon for each item ID. The same we will do for evening. We'll just change 5 to 17 and 20. If it's between 17 and 20, then evening. This case statement will retrieve one column, right? For a clear structure, select the when statement and press tab 4 times because it came under case statement. So we need to show it like that. Finally, we will end this statement using AND keyword and we'll name it as time of day. This will retrieve a column time of day. Let's look at the output. We successfully retrieved time of day and item ID. Now we'll focus on order count. For order count, we'll use a count method to count all the orders for that item. Inside count function, we can use order ID or star, but star will also count missing values. Lastly, we'll name this as order count. Now we need top items in each time of day based on its order count. For that, we'll rank it and pick the first one. For ranking, we will use a row number. This will give rank to each item ID based on its order frequency within a time of day. So let's write it row number. In our class, we'll write a partition by time of day. This will divide ranking in each time bucket, like in morning, afternoon, or evening. We'll copy paste time of day code into the partition by clause. We cannot use a time of day directly. Well, we want to rank item IDs in those time buckets by its order frequency. For that, we will use order by count star. Count star is the order counter in descending order. Descending will ensure that item ID should rank based on order count from highest to lowest. So the order by clause will looks like order by count star in descending order. We'll call this row number function as a rank. This will retrieve a column of rank. We have to use O data before creating it because we are selecting it from orders table, and O is the short name or alias of orders. So O data created it. We'll select all these from orders, and its short name will be O. Now we have to use group by clause. We'll group it by item ID and time of day. So order dot item ID and time of day. This will ensure that we get total order count for each item ID within each time of day. Let's run this part of the query. Okay, we got an error. We have to use comma after each column. Now in the output, you see it retrieved item name, its time of day, its order count, and the rank. You can see it shows a rank in each time of day, like in evening, morning, or afternoon, and it ranked items based on orders count. Now we have to do two things. First, to select those items whose rank is 1, and second, we need to add item name to match the output. Now what we'll do is to wrap this code in a sub query, or you can say it will act as a table. We need to use two braces, first at the start and second at the end, and we'll name this as T. You can give your name based on your choice. Now we'll select data from the subquery or T table. So first we will start with select statement, and we'll select T data time of day. First time of day. Now we have to select its item ID, T dot item ID. It's now from menu items we'll select item name. So mi dot item name. Mi is the short name of menu item. Now the last column will be order count from T table or from sub query. Right. So t dot order count. We are selecting it from t table, so we will write from and this t table. This is also a sub query, but you have to name it if you want to use it as table. Now the sub query come under from statement, so select all of it and click tab button to give it a better structure. To get item name for each item ID, we need to join both tables using item ID. This join will ensure that we get the right item name for the matched item ID between both tables. So join menu items mi on t.item id should be equal to menu item.item id. Now finally we will select those items whose rank is 1. So in where clause we will write where t dot rank equal to 1. Now we will get rank 1 item for each time of day. The query is finally completed, so let's run the code to see its output. Select all, run it. Okay, we have to use mi after menu items. Now after running the query, you are only seeing morning and afternoon. The evening is missing, so let's run the sub query to see the top item for the evening. Let's scroll down to the evening part. Now you can see item 26 is the first rank item for the evening. So let's look this ID in the menu items and its name. So there is no item 26 in this table, and that is the cause of not showing evening in the output because there is a null in the item menu items table. When we are connecting both tables, we are using inner joiner. We have to use left joiner to ensure we select all rows from t table and matching rows from the menu items. Let's run the code again. Now you can see there is a null in the evening because in item name there is no item 26 and its name, so it's showing it as null. So if we have to use a placeholder for null, we will use quels function in SQL. So for menu item column, we'll use calls method to show a placeholder like no item instead of null in the output. So coils in the first parameter you have to pass the column, and in the second if there is a null we will show this. Here we'll write no data instead of null. So when we run the query we will see no data instead of null. So no data, we'll use the same calls method for item id because if there is any missing item id, this will show item id as no data or no item. If the query is completed right now, but for safety purposes you can use calls method to ignore nulls in your output. So you can write it no item in the second parameter. Well, now I think the query is completed. Let's run it to see the final output. Well, you can see the output. It shows time of day, their item IDs, their item names, and its order count. If you look at the output that I shown you earlier at the start of the query, it matches the same output that we retrieved with our query. The query is completed, but what I want you to do is to change the column names from coils to item ID and from coils to item name in the output, as you can see. I hope you can do it. If you haven't subscribed the channel, please subscribe it and hit the like button. See you in the next video.